Hey guys, welcome back. Another edition of the Detour Live. We're going to recap all the action from stage 6 and preview stage 7. I'm your host, the cobblestone Robin Hood, and I'm joined, as always, by four-time national road champion from Australian.
Love it.
Johnny Trevorrow. It caused a bit of a media storm. Robin Hood steals Simon Clarke a stone trophy.
I was looking through, it was on Cycling Tips, and I saw it pop up, and I thought, and they won't even say the name. They don't know the whole story, but it's sensational. I love it.
The article said, this is from Clarke, he goes, a person who I probably shouldn't name so he doesn't get into trouble managed to organise a cobble for me from one of the sectors that we raced. And then, they said that, we'll leave the cobble Robin Hood unnamed as Tour de France organiser ASO frowns upon cobble theft. And fans have been prosecuted for digging up and stealing Roubaix cobbles in the past. Now, just as a disclaimer, guys, the Flandrian Hotel, Jamie Anderson, they were doing road works, and he had those original cobbles. And as a result, they had a whole pile of them. So he put one in the dishwasher, and away we went. Now, if your Wi-Fi is playing up, mate, my Wi-Fi all the way over here in Metz in France is cherry ripe.
I think it's yours.
It's not.
I think it's yours.
It's cherry ripe.
I think it's your Wi-Fi.
The accommodation here is cherry ripe.
Is it?
Anyway,
mine's cherry ripe here.
Well, before we unpack stage 6, I'll let you sort your Wi-Fi out, and I'll play the grab with Simon Clarke to give context to the cobblestone Robin Hood and Zak Dempster afterwards, and that gives you time to potentially go into your kitchen and get your Wi-Fi sorted. So here's the grab.
I'll have to go inside.
All right. Well, here's the grab from the start of stage 6.
Hey, mate.
Hold on.
Simon Clarke, mate.
Mate, after your interview yesterday morning, I didn't even salute when I won yesterday.
Oh, too scared. Mate, you were a shoo-in for the Ride of the Day award from SBS Sport. You get the Kanga, but mate, I struggle to find the words to describe what you've done. It's incredible.
What a day, what a day. I still can't quite believe it, and I still didn't believe I'd won when I crossed the line. I thought I was too far back on Taco, and I just said to myself, you're just going to have to throw your bike as hard as you can and hope for the best. And yeah, I got to my masseur and he's like, did you win? I said, no, I don't think I did. But yeah, it turns out it was enough.
And at the start of the day, Demmers comes up and says, mate, you can go get in the break. You had that opportunity. You've performed well in the first week of Grand Tours before, and mate, you just took your chance, and what a stage to win.
That's it. Yeah, I've been biding my time. I really have been trying to take it easy, particularly in Denmark. Really, I was there to support Jakob, but whenever I wasn't, I was really taking it easy, and I just said, as soon as I get this green light, I'm going to make it count. Demmers is such a value to this team. He hasn't been a director for very long, but you wouldn't know it. You'd think he'd been director for 10 years already. So he's such a huge value to this team, and the effort, months of effort and planning and organisation, particularly for a day like yesterday, that he's done to make that happen. Give me the opportunity to do what I did yesterday is immense, and so I can't thank the Demmers and the Dempster and the performance team enough for their preparation for yesterday. We had completely different bikes and wheels and everything. We had a complete setup just for yesterday, and I think probably most teams did, but there's a lot of organising that goes in to make that happen.
And what makes it so incredible and emotional is your story. Like, we've talked about it before, but not having a contract at the end of last year, and I mean the lessons that not just cycling fans but anyone can take from your story. Some guys would have said around Christmas, you know what, don't have a contract, that might be it, but you didn't.
Yeah, look, I mean, you can say never give up, or you can do it. So I'm always the optimist. So to be honest, I've already forgotten about this off season and what I went through, and I always try and look forward and not dwell on the past. And sure, it was a tough time, but what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And I've really, it's been a real reality check to me, in the sense to make me appreciate every moment and every opportunity. Like yesterday, you don't have a team, and then suddenly you're in a breakaway, and maybe you could win a stage of the Tour de France. Don't pass that up. And probably not having a team at the start of this year gave me that extra bit of hunger to get it over the line yesterday.
And what was the scenes like last night? It's always big after a stage win, but I mean that just would have
Yeah,
been
no,
incredible.
it was very special. It's also the first Tour de France stage win for this team and for the Israel Premier Tech outfit, so it was a huge achievement also for the team yesterday.
Now finally, I've got another trinket. You know I love my trinkets. This is a cobblestone from the race route, thanks to our friends at the Flandrian Hotel. We were going to get it mounted, but the guy in Belgium, he had a big night, the trophy guy. So Matt Heyman, Stuart O'Grady, now Simon Clarke, you have a stone off from the cobbles, mate.
Hey, thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
No worries, mate. You deserve it.
How good's that?
Zak Dempster, how do you put into words what happened yesterday?
Yeah, I think if you go back further to before, New Year when he had no contract, no job, nothing, I think it's just testament to the character of the guy. And if you look at the last K again, it's just how tough he was, and he won that with his head, as I said in the interview after the race, like magic.
What was the scenes like inside the team car?
The TV was kind of like cutting in and out, so we didn't really have the best connection. So it was like, once we saw as he came up next to Taco, it was just hold your breath, and it just felt like forever, but yeah.
And we all know Clarke's a crafty bike rider, but the way he played that last couple of kilometres, I mean, there would have been moments where you think, he's going to do it.
Yeah, I think like you look back through his whole career, he's always been a clever guy, but at this point of his career, he knew he had to risk it. It wasn't for second, it wasn't for third. He had to do everything right to win that race, and he did. He didn't put a foot wrong the whole day. Speechless.
Now Simon laid a lot of praise on yourself, Zak, unsurprisingly. now you did play a big role in bringing Clarke across to the team, but also the support you gave him yesterday morning to give him that confidence to go on the break.
Yeah, I think we're here to win bike races, so to do that we need to be race on the front foot. Like I said at the start of the race, we don't have a guy who can win the Tour de France here, and we need to take every opportunity we can get, and Clarke was on the bus 45 minutes early yesterday, studying every detail, knowing what to do, how to do it, all that stuff. So guys like that take the opportunity with both hands, they're amazing that he got the result.
And what Simon's done with the team this year, from the gun, he's always been that guy that's prepared well, trained well, raced hard, done everything for the team, and a win like that, yes, it's surprising for some, but it wouldn't be for the people like yourself.
Got the contract, 2 days notice, was on the plane to Europe. Came to the training camp, new bike, set up, didn't even have really clothes ordered, obviously, because it was such a last-minute signing. First race, Mallorca Challenge, podium. From there, every race, he comes, ultimate professional. So, yeah, like I said, it's a testament. It's a rider that deserves to win a stage in the Tour, and to see him take advantage of that chance that he made happen yesterday, yeah, that's what the sport's all about.
And for the viewers at home in Australia, what do you think is the big lesson to take away from Simon Clarke's story?
Yeah, never give up until a certain point, I guess. But yeah, he knows his qualities, and eventually someone's going to recognise that. And what he's given to the team, not only yesterday but the whole year, he's repeat that chance tenfold. So yeah, he's an example.
Congratulations, mate, and first Tour de France stage win for the team as well. It must have been a great night.
Special, yeah, especially, the staff, the mechanics, they do the same job every day, so it's really, really important to enjoy it yesterday.
Yeah, it's fantastic scenes, and it's so good to see guys like Zak Dempster involved as well. I spent a lot of time with Zak, particularly in Girona, and he's another great story. He's a guy that, wanted to be a sports director, chipped away at Israel. Now he's in the mix there, and the riders love him,
Oh, mate, look, there's 3 examples of amazing character come out of those interviews just then. One, the Simon Clarke story, which, was all just been told. 2, Zak Dempster, who took the absolute, drama of getting pipped on the final stage of the Bay Crits, to lose the Bay Crits, to come back and be one of the top DSs. And that interview there was absolutely brilliant. And 3 that comes out to me is the growth of Dan Jones. People thought, what you did at Backstage Pass was amazing, but you've stepped up again. Just your interviews in this tour have been sensational, mate.
Well, here's another batch of interviews with Matt White, Magnus Cort, which is a funny one, and, of course, my old mate George Bennett before the start. I love the one with particularly Maggie. He is a character, so enjoy.
Matt White, now I can tell that you guys are up today because you are the first bus in the convoy. Now back in the day, that didn't happen a lot.
Well, for two reasons. We were staying 13 minutes away from the hotel yesterday, so we didn't have a chance to look at the vision from yesterday to do our debrief. So we did the debrief this morning, which we don't usually do. But yesterday was a pretty stressful day for everyone, so let everyone sort of relax, give us a chance to look at the vision. And then also today, things have changed in 24 hours. There's a lot of teams that are pretty banged up and busted, and I think that's going to change the style of the race today.
Obviously from an Aussie perspective, we lost Jack Haig, Ben O'Connor lost a bit of time as well.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on those cobble stages in the Tour de France?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan. Look, for us, it was a totally different mindset because we haven't got a GC guy. We've been here before, and you see a different style of racing anyway, because the best guys on the cobbles, most of them couldn't race anyway because they had to look after their leaders. So look, no one likes to see a GC guy, the amount of money and time you put into preparing for the Tour de France because of a hay bale lying on the side of the road or a silly crash. Silly crashes can happen anywhere, but it just everything's multiplied, the stress when you got those stages, and poor old Ben O'Connor couldn't have punctured at a worse time. It was like 10 kilometres before Sector 2. It was on. By the time he actually got to that sector, he was car 10. The brakes had already formed, and the poor fella had no chance of getting back to the front, really. So, really bad luck for him. Obviously, Hagee, 2 years in a row, he's been involved in a crash that's taken him out of the race. But it's the first week of the Tour. It's like a lottery. And sometimes when your number comes up, you get through, and sometimes you don't.
And obviously, amazing to see Simon Clarke get up for the win, considering, the guy was out of contract at the end of last year. You spent a lot of time with him on the Green Edge squad.
Yeah.
Must have been great to see.
Oh, mate, one of the craftiest riders you'll ever meet. Mate. He, if there's one man who knows how to find a breakaway, he's the one. And Clarke's had a really, really hard 12 months there. Like, he was staring down the barrel of retiring in January, last-minute pickup. And hasn't he made the most of his opportunity, winning his biggest ever race off the back of that? So, incredible ride from Clarke.
And talking about opportunities, stage 6 looks like a good one for Michael Matthews with the Cap 4 and 3 towards the final.
Yeah, but what I really think after yesterday, mate, is that who wants to control the longest stage of the Tour de France? Especially when every team has their own story from yesterday, and I really expect today will be a breakaway.
And you've got a prime posse for the podium presentation here. What percentage of riders are wearing bandages today?
Well, I'm just doing a head count as they go up. So I'm looking. I know how many people stopped yesterday, but I was driving yesterday, so I didn't get to see. And you don't ever can tell how many guys went down. So it's a good place to watch and see who's banged up and busted, and you can maybe even
20%?
change your. What's that?
20% with bandages?
Not that much yet. But it's been Look, it could have been a lot more stressful Tour de France. The weather up in Denmark was pretty tame. It could have been a hell of a lot worse, but yesterday was always going to bring drama.
Well, good luck today, mate.
Yeah, cheers.
Magnus Cord, mate, incredible Tour de France so far. For me, it's like watching a Jack Russell being let out of a hot car, mate. When the gun goes off, you're gone. How much fun are you having?
I'm having a lot of fun. Yeah. Yesterday was a little unexpected, but yeah, almost like the other days. Maybe not the first attack, but then the second or third, I just followed a wheel and found myself out there. And then it's about just pushing on. And luckily, we had 3 more guys coming up with Nielsen. So for me and the team, it was a perfect situation. Yeah.
And for the team, second on GC, Mountains jersey. I mean, there must be a real buzz in the group.
Oh, for sure. And I think the other guys were also good yesterday behind and sitting always in good position. So it's really promising. Despite a few crashes before this stage, people are fine and recovering from the small injuries. And luckily, yesterday we didn't have any major accidents.
Now, one thing I love about you, Maggie, is your hotel reviews on social media. How have you found the hotels at the Tour de France so far?
Oh, a bit mixed. I'm doing some reviews again, but not every hotel. So I'm trying to film every second hotel this year's tour, and today was one of them. I'm not filming, but it was terrible. So, but in order to be consistent and not choosing when I'm there to show good or bad, I want to just do every second one, and So unfortunately, I'm not reviewing the one from tonight.
What do you look for in a good hotel, Maggie?
Wi-Fi is important for me.
Yeah, true.
And bed, no, and some good blinds, curtains, so it can be dark as well. And
And
clean, obviously.
the kit, mate. I love the kit. I love the Crocs. That must be one big perk with EF is you do things differently, but it just stands out and looks great.
Yeah, we definitely do things differently, and it's nice. At first, when I came to this team, I had to get a little bit used to the pink color, and now I'm starting to feel pretty comfortable in pink. But these Crocs definitely took a few days to feel comfortable in. But even that, I'm getting used to now.
And no denim. You love the denim shorts.
No denim. Unfortunately, yeah.
Well, maybe next year.
I have some denim shorts in my suitcase in case I really want to feel comfortable.
Well, all the best today, Maggie. I'm sure we'll see that Jack Russell out there in front again today.
Yeah, thank you.
George Bennett, great ride by yesterday, mate.
Yesterday.
No, today, Pogacar yesterday.
Oh, today, Pogacar.
Great ride yesterday.
Okay, it was a great ride yesterday. By today.
Yeah. And how was the day for yourself?
I was actually pleasantly surprised. I got through. I was absolutely packing myself in the start line, but I got through onto the cobbles, even in the front, and then I crashed out. And then my bike was in the bits and game over for me. But I was actually, couldn't believe how good I was going.
Really?
Yeah, I think it wasn't really like the Roubaix, you know. It was like everyone sort of looking after the GC guys. So
you might be timing your run perfectly, George. You might these last couple of weeks.
I like your optimism, Jonesy.
No, always.
Yeah, good to see.
And have you been on your best behaviour, George, throughout this tour?
Yeah, I've been all right. I've been looking after myself so far.
Nothing you can publicly discuss?
Oh, well, no, we'll tune in Monday.
All right. Social Distance Podcast. Yeah. Good on you, mate. Good luck today.
See you guys.
George Bennett.
I love you too.
As I said, I love the grab with Magnus Court because if you want to get on socials, he speaks in Danish. I think you can't understand a word he's saying, but he does these hotel reviews. They're hilarious. So we got plenty more to unpack. We want to talk about Bettiol. There's a few rumors floating around, Johnny.
Yes, there are.
So we'll discuss that. Plenty more to come on the detour.
Look at this bike. You think it's just a bike, right? But it's not. It's a bike. 374 people are looking at. This guy, this girl, them, all looking at it. People from here, there, and wherever this is. People that are looking for a bike. Or just a piece of it. Amateurs, semi-amateurs, and pro-amateurs. This guy wants this bike, but with this crank and these bars. This could be the perfect match, but not this one. This girl has a bike to sell, and thousands of people might purchase it. Eyes on Bikes help grow small businesses. His, hers, yours, and the latest data and insights help those businesses keep moving. We are the world's #1 bike marketplace, with over 500,000 products and 900 brands, where buyers and sellers are brought together in a place where a bike is never just a bike. Bike Exchange, where the world buys, sells, learns, and rides.
As we always say, thanks to our great mates at bikeexchange.com.au. If you need anything bike-related, Iffy, you know where to go. There's no excuses.
Exactly, mate. Whether it's a bike, a bit for a bike, a mountain bike, a track bike, a road bike, you name it, you want it.
A helmet,
Bike Exchange,
bike
get it for you.
socks.
Anything.
Anything.
Anywhere in the world. Exactly.
Now we're talking on the back of Maggie. There was controversy on stage 5 with Bettiol. Seemed to be doing work with Pogacar. Saw an interview with Jonathan Vaughters saying, you just got a bit excited. Nah, come on, mate. They're professional bike riders. They don't just get excited. There's something going on there. And the rumours is that
he's armouring him at one stage and talking in his ear. Next bit is on the front. And there were 2 sections where he went full gas with Pog on his wheel through 2 large cobble sections. And I got to tell you, Powless is now only 4 seconds behind the Pog for the yellow jersey. He's probably not going to get there now. And it would be his teammate will have cost him more than 4 seconds.
I know. And, geez, if you're on the bus, as we said on the show yesterday, if you were the sports director, you probably would have sent him home, Johnny.
Well, I would. Whether it's sent him home, I would have. He would have been in a bit of strife. He would have had to explain that to me in a way I could believe what he's saying. I don't believe. Now, a very strong rumor, which started the day before that stage, is that he has signed for UAE. Even though people make contracts all the time for next year. So then Robbie McEwen was tweeting and doing some social media saying the only thing that made sense is he must be going there. Why else would he have done it? So, watch this space.
Now, unpacking stage 6, obviously, it was a tight finish. Oh, well, Pogačar was just too strong, but Michael Matthews was gallant in second. Johnny, and the Pog's just too good. But the big story was, and there was the title of the episode today, was what was Wout thinking in terms of tactics?
Well, Wout, an idiot, I thought, for yesterday. Seriously, he's been the bike rider of this tour so far, without doubt. He has got so much power, it's scary. But yesterday it was wasted because he ended up forcing that break. It break took a long while to go, which I loved. Whereas the other ones were going too easy. This one, they fought for over an hour, and a couple of breaks went and got dragged back. And then it was Van Aert who just kept it. Finally, he gets the three of them get away. It was the power there. Fuglsang in the end just went, you know what, this is ridiculous. And about 40k to go or so, 50k to go, he realised he's easier to set up, which he did. But Van Aert just kept going. They only caught in the end. He dropped the American about 30k to go and just kept going on his own. They caught him 10k to go. I mean, how can you throw it? He's thrown away a stage. He's the only person who could have beaten Pogačar and probably would have beaten
the jersey too.
Would have kept the jersey. It just didn't make any sense to me at all. And just going back to that finish, I saw that Matty White and Michael said they were disappointed because he probably lost it because of a tactical mistake only mistake he made, in that last 500 metres. And he did. He definitely got squeezed. He
he didn't go.
He let Pidcock get in there, who let the wheel go a little bit, and he had to pass 3 or 4 riders. But he didn't gain anything on him. If you look at the aerial shot in that last 150 metres, whether he's very quick, and if he was on the wheel, he might have had a chance, I suppose. I can't. Pogačar seemed to be coming from another planet, as far as I'm concerned at the moment. But it was a fantastic ride. But that's surprising. The tactics of Jumbo Visma in the last couple of days have had me. I mean, yesterday was ridiculous. I mean, the day before, the stage 5, the Roubaix stage, it's just chaos, and so it's very hard to work out what you're going to do. I feel for the sports directors. There's so much. It's just absolute chaos going on. Dust everywhere, riders everywhere. One guy's down. They didn't even realise that Roglic. They'd gone past him. Sitting on the side of the road in a deck chair, putting his shoulder back in. I mean, all of those things you couldn't write a book. And then my mate Vinegar jumping on his mate's bike, who's a foot taller than him.
You could have cued the Benny Hill music.
Exactly. But you feel for them. And I had a go at the bike riders, teammates of Ben O'Connor's for AG2R for not stopping straight away. But it's not their fault. I was talking with Matty Wilson earlier today, and he said, they go to the back. You're told to do that, and then the team normally they'll get close, and then now's the time to drop back. Mm-hmm. Well, it needed that sports director to go. No, they needed right away here. It's right from the beginning. He stuffed up, but anyway.
Maybe the kangaroo in the side pocket got mixed up with his sat nav, or it was the curse of the Roo that day, I think. That's what happens when you don't accept the Roo. And
I feel for Ben O'Connor. I feel for him at the moment. He lost another couple of minutes yesterday, which didn't have a crash or anything. So obviously he's just. I saw a story. He still hasn't fully recovered from his crash on stage 2. Knocked him around more than we thought. So
we're going to chat with Ben before the start today.
Yeah,
I've got a wish list from Catherine at SBS, and we'll chat with Bling, and we'll also chat with Geraint Thomas, because obviously Ineos are going around. Going really good.
Is my tip for a podium, but I got to tell you that team started to impress me more and more.
Oh yeah,
Tom Pidcock was great again. He's just got so much bloody energy. He's actually
got firepower.
Yeah, and then you got Martinez going well, Thomas, Adam Yates. Which one of them is going to end up being the GC? We might know a little bit more today. I'm looking forward to that finale today, especially that last little bit. It gets really got the dirt right near the top. And,
well, sure. I'll ask G. I'll say, how are you going to work this out in the final? Rock, scissors, paper. Always go stones.
Well, he's got a couple of bloody big stones there, that's for sure.
That's right.
No, and look, it's interesting, isn't it? Looking at this bike race, we had as we said, a great ride from Michael Matthews, and I'd be really surprised if Michael doesn't win a stage in this tour. He's got form, and he really, you see him bashing the handlebar yesterday in frustration because he knew he'd made that one little mistake. But Quintana has impressed me.
He's got a lot of support here too. The Colombians are out in force.
Yeah,
it's a shame the little Colombian kangaroo isn't riding Esteban.
Yeah, that's right. I'm surprised they didn't put him in. But Quintana, very impressive on stage 5 again yesterday, right there in the finale. I think he ran 6th in the stage. So he's definitely stepping up. So he'll be one to watch. But I think my mate Vinegar is still the main threat. I think he'll be
once
good ride. Roglic, he's not out of it yet. I mean, he's lost a bit of time, but he's looking good. He had a bit of a bash last night in the sprint. With Ineos have got 4 riders they're going to make a decision on. Vlasov with Bora is still in the mix, and then you got Bardet, who I'm watching and impressed with, Gaudu, and Enric Mas, who they're all GC contenders. So there's 10 riders there that are fighting for that podium spot. But that top podium spot, you just can't see Pogacar unless he does something wrong.
He's just
can't see it.
Another level. We'll go through some of the live comments. Thanks for all the support. Matt Bordignon says, totally agree with you, Iffy, and clearly many others. Really enjoy Dan's interviews and character. Keep going. Jonesy, it's great. Carolyn Harbeck, Dan's definitely the best interview man. Now, Carolyn's from Sale, so there's a bit of blinkers on there.
Best interview man at the tour this year. Is that what you meant?
Wendy may have it. Hi, guys. He sure is. Carolyn, Knowlesy, Dan the man, great to hear from the Peloton. Cheers from Tassie. And Wendy obviously loves George Bennett. Francesca says, great interviews. Gavin says, I feel like Bling and Bike Exchange rode the close to perfect race. Today is just an absolute freak. Not much you can do about that. Totally agree. Tomo, he says, could Wout have kept yellow if he stayed in the Peloton? I think so. He would have, wouldn't he?
Probably would have won the stage if he stayed in the Peloton.
Sally wants to know, is it up to Wout or his director of sport? We've had a few comments about that.
That was a Wout decision. They might have said, make sure you're getting the break today.
Well, they've said in the past they can't control him. Just he does his thing.
Yeah. Just so much energy. I tell you, he really is. We're all talking about Pogacar being from another planet and all that. But so in just the same degree is Wout Van Aert. Other than the big mountains and the GC, who would know what he could do? And we saw him win on Mont Ventoux last year's tour. He won the Mont Ventoux. Time trials sometimes better than the best in the world. And then he wins the final stage, beating Cav in the green jersey to win the final stage. He can do everything. You wonder if he actually rode for GC, what he could do.
That's right.
That will never happen.
Well, when he won the Ventoux stage, I mean, everyone's going, who is this guy? Prasad says, hi, what tactics should Ineos have today, Iffy, apart from rock, scissors, paper?
Oh, look, they probably would be really good to try and send someone up the road one of their Ford who will put pressure on Pogacar. That's the only way, that twin-edged sword that Jumbo were playing, it's still there. But now Ineos have got a quadruple-edged sword at the moment. And I reckon put Pidcock up the road. He's probably the one they're not worrying about, but he can do anything.
On that, George Bennett said on the social distance, we asked him about that with our Tour de France preview, and he said, today is that good as a teammate. We're not panicking because even if they do go up the road, they go, okay, if today wants to bridge the gap, he can do it. George said we went on a training ride and he's just tapping the pedals. He goes, I was on the rivet and this guy's just not even breaking a sweat. And he goes, he's just another level. So he said, like, even if they can try any tactic they want. If today wants to bridge the gap, he'll bridge it. And his teammates aren't stressed about it. So, yeah, it's going to be fascinating. Now, Flandrian Hotel, they're watching live. Cheers for the Flandrian Hotel. It's great having you here, Dan. Now, I've got a video for all you bike nuts, and this is with Jamie Anderson going quickly through his bike collection. It was fantastic accommodation, but his bike collection, this is the premier cycling hotel in the world, and if you are a bike nut, you've got to get over and stay. But here's from Jamie Anderson.
So some of you might be wondering why Dan Jones has ventured across the border here into Belgium, Flanders in fact, during the Tour de France. I'm Jamie Anderson, the owner of the Flandrian Hotel. I'm Australian, been living here in Belgium for 10 years, and what I'm going to do today is show you a little bit of my fabulous bike collection. So how big is my bike collection? Well, I've got about 100. I've been collecting them for 15 years. And as an Australian living in Belgium, I have an incredible piece of fortune, and that is the fact that there have been so many service courses here in the area over the years. Flemish soigneurs, mechanics, many of them are working for World Tour teams, not just the Belgian and Dutch teams, but for the British teams, the American teams here in Europe. And those soigneurs and mechanics often at the end of the season are given a bike for their hard work. Of course, those bikes find their way back to Belgium, and often they find their way into my collections. The frame I'm holding right here actually is the Peugeot Carbolite, and believe it or not, way back in 1983, I was 12 years old, I watched Robert Miller win a stage of the Tour de France on this model of frame. So really the first carbon fibre frame to win a stage in the Tour de France. A few years later, along comes an American called Greg LeMond, and the bike you see behind me here, this is the Look KG86. This was the first ever full carbon bike to win a Grand Tour with Greg LeMond and the Tour de France, the La Vie-Claire team, classic team. And as you can see, those amazing white pedals, which were the very first clipless pedals ever used in the Pro Peloton. Always have been a huge fan of the Jayco team. You remember Mario Cipollini in those crazy skin suits. Well, the start of the Tour de France this year, Copenhagen, with the prologue, you saw the tech the guys were riding. This bike, the Cannondale Jayco CAD 4 TT bike, is what they were riding way back 20 years ago in 2000. This was the bike used by a rider called Pieri in the Futuroscope stage of the Tour de France in 2000. So folks, what an amazing stage yesterday with Simon Clarke winning what is the equivalent really of a cobbled classic in the Tour de France. Well, of course, we're a huge fan of the cobbled classics here at the Flandrian Hotel, being in Flanders, and someone who we respect immensely and admire is Matthew Hayman. So what I have right here actually is one of Matthew Hayman's bikes from when he was at Rabobank, still a young guy dreaming of winning Roubaix. And of course, a decade later after he raced this bike, he did actually go on and win Paris-Roubaix and take home that cobblestone to share with Stu O'Grady. And of course, what we've done here at the Flandrian Hotel is we're sending a cobblestone with Dan to France today to be given to Simon Clarke.
So it wasn't me. It was the Flandrian Hotel. It's the Flandry Hood, they call them now.
I love it.
So, yeah, no, it was a fantastic setup.
Well, you haven't told that part because you actually got, after you presented the cobble to Clarke, one of the officials come up and said, and quizzed you on it.
Oh, yeah. He pulled me aside and he said, where did you get this? I said, it's from the Flandrian Hotel. He goes, yes, but did you take it from the state? I said, no. They were doing road work where his hotel is and that a cobble, so it's not from the sector. I said, mate, I'm a storyteller. He wanted to know my name and details, and I just... So we dodged that bullet, but it was a great gesture. And, they're all the same cobbles. And Jamie put it through the dishwasher at the Flandrian Hotel, and it came up a treat. Ryan wants to know, next year, can we have Dan, the master of the microphone, and Iffy, the team mascot, live on stage, a winning formula for sure? I think you're going to have to settle up.
We'll work on it. We'll
work on it. Yep. All right. Well, that's a big episode of the Detour. As I said, we're going to go to the start. Bloody Wood has won the Ride of the Day award for SBS, so I've got to present him with a Kanga. So that's going to be a bit of a challenge, but we're not going to stop, Johnny. And Giro Don.
Yep.
It was a win from the breakaway. Juliette Lebus, she won stage 6.
Yes, she's known as a climber, although she lost 5 minutes earlier in the race, but she won the stage. Annemiek, who had got caught in a fall and had to chase back on, but she ended up getting clear of all her rivals and finishing second. Mavi Garcia was third, just a handful of seconds back, I think 4 seconds back. Cavalli, Spratty was up there, finished 8th at 2 and a bit minutes. So Annemiek leads. From Garcia at 31, Cavalli at 110, and Spratty up to 6th at 6 minutes. So, all good.
Fantastic. Flandrian Hotel. Don't tell anyone where you got that stone. Cat's already out of the bag, boys. Expect a knock on the door from the gendarmerie. Ain't no nothing. All good. Great. All right, well, we'll be back again tomorrow at the same time. 4 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time for the rest of the Tour de France. Except on the day after the rest day, we'll go live again because we won't have any content. So I'll mix that up. But yeah, thanks again for all your support. YouTube.com/The Detour Podcast. Should be another fantastic stage, Iffy. We'll see how rock, paper, scissors go in the finale there for Team Ineos. And can they dethrone the Pog? Stay tuned tomorrow. See you then.